Sometimes art is prophetic, and sometimes I don't know how to offset it. The words too authentic to constantly do what I do and augment it. Y'all talk a big game, can't tell if y'all meant it. If seconds turns to minutes, the ticking will tell all. Will you hold firm or steadily fall? Will you conform with the ways of the world, or will you give the world everything that you are? Make them fuckers move around you, kinda like sound do. Break out of everything that they had you bound to. You got knocked down, ho, get ready for round two. It's round two. Get ready for round two. Come back, run rap, run laps around these cats, jump back, kiss myself, still keeping me intact. Weird and black, they for that, hold up, steer it back. Weird and black, they revere that, yup, you hear that?
Turnstile, switch it up. Young nigga raised hard, he learned not to give a fuck. Young nigga came far, still never give enough. Coming with the flavor, delicious, so she lick it up. Bust down, stick it up, I put it down, so pick it up. Scud town, saviors, done some till he shift to Musk. Stench so stank that the shit compare soft to us. Crud so dank, make your face much dripping, cuz club go shake when the bass get to hitting ya. They ain't really hearing us, but they gon' feel something when the way is paved clear enough. I don't fear nothing but the fate, is God really not? Well, fuck it, got the world in my hands, and that's real enough. Fuck it, got the world in my hands, gold forms to touch. Might just spend it all one time to give it all to us. Yeah, give it all to us.
Yeah. This that hip-hop body, rock, hardcore, karate, chop, neo-Nazi, nasty, not feel it in my chest. How could you wear that name? Must be automatic shame, he's an automatic lame, heard it from the best. Fresh flow, let's go, plus I got a lot of heart. It's necessary when you dabble in this art. Grab canvas, paint picture, use them acrylics, paint a picture so vivid, the people gotta feel it like the kava. Lyrics bear fruit like guava, words spilling out of my brain like lava. Spills out the top of a volcano, and they know that A-Right is not the one to play no. I'm Kano in Mortal Kombat, cause the lyrics like blades. Aim it at your jugular when I'm on stage. Until you heard me spit, homie, you ain't heard rage. On another chapter, so turn a turn. Okay, got that out my system. A-Right on another planet, dog, you must have missed them. When I do it how I do it's of my own volition. Go make my destination even in the worst condition. My crew's the Blues Brothers, cause you know we on a mission. Eternity of roses I make bumping in your system. I mean banging in it, I'm still hanging in it. I got a gang of wisdom, I got a gang of rhythms, I got a lot of soul. I found the pot of gold, I'm wrapping that shit up, gon' sell it to the globe. I got some game to give them, they don't really want, but they really need it. And I want you to succeed, I want you to be free. I want you to remove every obstacle from being what you truly wanna be. I truly wanna see, and I can only lead by example. So here's a sample from me, so get up.
He's the one drinking beer. I'm drinking water.
2 touchdowns a game?
Yes, in the game.
You're tripping.
How you high? No, high
Super Bowl time.
I don't know what we're doing in that front office, man.
Twiddling our fucking dick.
Ryan, I just need you to drink this.
Wide receiver trivia. That's what she said.
Her.
Fuck.
Her upset.
Are those crutches?
You can see Ryan's crutches. What is going on, folks? Welcome back to your favorite show on the internet. After further review, this is episode 107. I'm your co-host, James Brown.
Welcome. I'm your other favorite co-host, Shaquille Brown.
And I'm everybody's hated co-host, Malin. How's everybody doing? And looks like we got G Money here right now.
Oh, that's what that was. G Money.
What's going on, buddy?
Decided to show you all live from Las Vegas before we head down to dinner. Catch good 15 minutes of one of the greatest shows on YouTube.
G Money.
So,
How
yeah,
has your
guys,
trip
how's
been?
that?
Good. It's great to see your face, G-Money.
And it's freaking pimp slapping my ass. Swear to God, I'm like a $2 hoe that owes my pimp $10. That's how Vegas is doing me right now.
That's exciting.
$2 hoe.
Is that a
That
thing?
was my
Oh,
pimp.
my God.
10 of them.
Maybe in
Money,
Vegas
man.
it is, Shaq. Don't get too excited.
Hell, gentlemen, let's open up the show the best way we know. Malin, you said you have something you want to cheers to, so enlighten us.
Yeah. I found this interesting stat out that the Steelers have been outscored by 55 points this year, and that happens to be the worst point differential in the league. Negative 55 points. So I just wanted to add a little cheers there.
Cheers, gentlemen. Check. It's like it's just an cheers tonight.
I kind of felt like Shaq turned his chair a little bit, like he was about to get up and walk out.
Cheers to I won fantasy this week. Fuck y'all.
Yeah. Oh God, that's great.
Do you mind?
So,
Do you have a shot with you?
I just have bottles. I'm just going to down from the bottle.
Oh,
you know,
okay.
screw it.
okay.
Vegas is beating me down. And it's just so hard now to find quality alcohol. So I'm going to open up a mini single barrel.
There you go.
Nice.
Yes, man.
There you go.
Well,
This man living it.
Yeah.
if you're
Wow.
not aware, we do have the show live streamed every Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Just click the first link down in your podcast description, and you will be taken to the YouTube version of this show. So go ahead and subscribe, and you can be notified whenever we go live on Wednesday, just in case you forget. But yeah, you can weigh in the live chat. You can see what's going on as it happens. So be here every Wednesday night, 9:30. Now, let's get into the recap for week 7 in the NFL. Another week in the books, folks. Another wacky week. Let's start off with, of course, the Seahawks taking down the LA Chargers 37-23. And we have G Money on the top of the show for once. So let's start with G Money. What do you think is the biggest reason the Seahawks are having so much success this season?
They're rookies. I don't think anybody would have thought the two rookie tackles would have played as well as they have. And definitely when you look at on defense, Woolen, Kobe, they're playing crazy good. And the fact the free agent defensive end that we signed from San Diego, and Mafe that we drafted in, I think, the second round. And then let's look at Walker. I mean, right now, Walker is averaging 6.1 yards a carry. I mean, that's insane. Because if you had asked us at the beginning of the season how we thought the Seahawks would do, none of us thought they were going to do very well. I mean, we thought they could win some games.
Y'all made that very
but
known.
we didn't think the rookies were going to give as much as they have, and it's performed as well as they have. It's crazy. It's good being a Seahawks fan right now.
Malin.
Yeah, I mean, now I was the only one out of the show that predicted him to have a winning record, and that was barely a winning record at 9-8. Because you just didn't. That was on the high side. I was thinking, wow, they could maybe win this toss-up game, But the fact that there's only 5 NFC teams with a winning record right now, and the Seahawks are one of them, that's kind of crazy. But just like G Money said, it has to be the draft class. I know that Geno Smith is playing great. That's awesome. He's playing out of his mind with 73% completion percentage, but it has to be the rookies. Just going through, we have 6 rookies that are starting on our starting 22 right now from this year's draft class. We have Charles Cross, starting left tackle, that has a higher grade than the other 2 tackles that were drafted above him. Boye Mafe is an edge rusher that has 16 solo tackles and a sack and 2 pass defenders. Ken Walker, who's going to end up being the best running back in the class. He's had 353 yards to lead the NFL in the last 2 weeks, or the last 3 weeks. So the last 3 weeks of the season, he's the NFL leading rusher right now. Abraham Lucas, who's our right tackle. He's only given up 3 sacks, and 2 of them were technically Geno's fault by PFF. Kobe Bryant, we took him in the 5th round. Long live the Mamba. But he's the 5th highest rated rookie cornerback in the NFL right now. And the craziest thing is that the cornerback that we took in the 6th round, Tyreek Woolen, is the number 1 rated cornerback in the league right now. So those 6 players starting on defense and actually making an impact are the reason why we're winning these games.
The rookie situation you guys have is outstanding, but I'm going to go in a little bit of a different direction. I think the biggest reason, Pete Carroll is doing a hell of a job this year, and I think he should definitely be in consideration with Daboll and I forget the coach of the Eagles, but the 3 of them I think are the leading candidates. But to take this team, which nobody had any expectations for, at least, those 2 other teams, there were some expectations there. This team, though, nobody thought anything of it, and everybody thought Seattle's left in the dust now that Russell Wilson's gone. It's Pete Carroll this whole time. That's the reason the Seahawks are the way they are, and it's not, Russell Wilson. This whole time, though, Pete Carroll's like, all right, get the diva out of here and watch what I can do, especially on the defensive side of the ball with these brand new players. Pete Carroll's doing a hell of a job, and he's reminding everybody why he's a Super Bowl caliber coach. So I gotta give Pete his props. Shaq?
I'm gonna go back to a simple answer of saying Geno Smith. This man, like you all said, playing out of his mind, not making a lot of big mistakes on the team, keeping them in it for the most part. So I'm like, any quarterback that could keep his mistakes to a bare minimum. We have seen a lot of these QBs make a little bit outrageous passes, try to squeeze it in where they shouldn't, make big mistakes costing the game. This man is keeping it to a minimum and keeping their team very much alive and winning. So give this man credit. He went from, you're filling in the blank space because Russ is gone to you doing a lot for this team. So give this man credit.
I mean, who would have thought that Geno Smith, after flunking out with the Jets, going to the Giants to be a backup, then going to the Chargers to be a backup, then going to Seattle to be a backup, 10 years after he was drafted in the NFL, could end up being like the NFL Comeback Player of the Year. And if he keeps
Yeah.
playing like this, he's going to play himself out of Seattle after this year and
Yeah.
be making $30-some million a year. I mean, I want him to keep playing the way he's playing, but I also would love for them to be able to re-sign him for a couple more years and maybe draft a rookie quarterback. But he's due for a big payday, he's playing really well.
Big props to him because it's comeback player of the last 5 years. Like, I can't remember seeing somebody make this big of a turnaround from where he was. So next on the recap, we have the Chiefs beat down the 49ers 44-23. So Shaq, I'll go to you first. Do you think the Chiefs are still the best team in the AFC West?
Yes, I still think they're going to be, or still is the best team out there. We forget how they had a roughy start, but we all forget how explosive this team can be in a pinch, and they're still very much a threat. I still think they have that factor of you can be up a touchdown or two in the fourth quarter and still very well much lose it all in the blink of an eye. The little hiccups here and there does not make this team any less of a powerhouse. So, yes, I give them the best team still.
I feel that. G Money.
Hey, so
We're gonna come back up
what
on
I
this train
think is
with my G Money shirt on, and then I'll do it.
okay. The mute G Money.
And we'll pop champagne.
Mute.
And we'll take drink champagne, and then we'll take some down with us, and then we'll play.
I haven't
Okay.
muted on the stream, but not for
Hey.
us. So
Okay. Good Lord. All right. So it has to be, in my opinion, it has to be the Bills. The Bills have to be the best team right now because they beat Kansas City in Kansas City. I mean, how can you be the better team when you already lost to another team that everyone thinks is just as good as you? And when you really look at the stats, when you look at offense and defense, right? The Bills have the number one offense with 440 yards a game, 29.3 points a game. The Chiefs, number two, with 403 yards a game, 31.9 yards or 31.9 points a game. The difference is that the Bills have the number one rated defense. They've given up 200, not even an average of 300 yards a game, 281 yards a game. And they've only given up 81 points. The Chiefs have the 22nd ranked defense. They're giving up almost 370 yards a game and 172 points. Like, they've doubled the point total given up on that defense that the Bills have. Like, everyone thinks of the Bills as being this offensive juggernaut. That defense is spectacular right now. They are the only defense in the NFL that has given up less than 100 points so far this year. So I know that they beat up the Niners, but the Niners are beat up themselves. They have a lot of injuries on defense. They still got Jimmy G out there. They're using a wide receiver as a running back in Deebo Samuel. They're trying to use Christian McCaffrey, a running back, as a wide receiver. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. So, I mean, it's just let's not get too ahead of ourselves. I still think that the Bills are the team to beat.
but do you think they're the best team in the AFC West?
Oh,
It's definitely Kansas City. Kansas City is yeah. How about that there, Mr. Go off on a fucking tangent.
maybe mute yourself next time, you crazy person.
I personally think
You know,
that they're
I
the best
come
team
with
in the AFC
no
West.
mute button.
Yeah. I do think they're the best team in the AFC West. It's the other three teams, unfortunately, have just kind of shown that they're pretenders this year. But macro, this is still Buffalo's conference. Mainly, like you said, Buffalo's a more complete team. Like, defensively, they have shown that they are on a different level than what Kansas City is. So, still the Chiefs division, but I still think it's the Bills conference. G Money.
Yeah, I totally agree. Kansas City is a class of the AFC West. They have everything you need to win the AFC West. The others don't. The others are missing either defense, offense, or coaching, or all three, as in Denver. And I agree that Buffalo is a class of the AFC. Guys, got to check out with you all. We're heading down to dinner. I may check back in if you guys are still playing. You're still online at like 8:30 or so, but peace out, guys. Love you all.
Here's your money.
Much love, G-Money. We'll see you soon.
When he says 8:30, he really means 11:30 because
Right.
West Coast time. Yeah, apparently I didn't read in the notes on there that you were talking about the AFC West, so I prepared this whole thing about the AFC. So yeah,
You're
so
good.
the Chiefs are definitely the best team in the AFC West. I still think that the Chargers are a good team though, but they're just getting riddled with injuries.
Yeah.
Where the Chiefs aren't getting to injuries. Herbert is still not himself. Jackson, their best cornerback, is out for the year after playing against Seattle. And they still got Bosa out for a few more weeks. Khalil Mack looks every bit as the 32 to 33 years old that he is right now. He was a non-factor in that Seahawks game. And the Raiders can't close out a game, and the Broncos can't win a game. So, I mean, if both teams were healthy, though, if both Chargers and Chiefs were healthy, it might be a different story.
Yeah. Last one on the recap here. The Bengals took down the Falcons 35-17. Are you guys buying back into Cincinnati? Either one of you guys can go first here.
Not quite yet. They have had a really rough patch beginning this season, and it's still hard to take them to be back at the same caliber they were last year. Because right now they still seem to be kind of struggling if for hands. And like we all know, that division, my division, is still so rough. So they could still do bad and still be good.
Right.
So, but in my opinion, it's still have a lot to prove to me to become that they're still back the way they were, a solid team.
Go ahead, Malin.
And I never stopped buying into Cincy. I still peg them as a playoff team, even with their rough start. Even with their 3-game rough start, right? Their first 3 games were rough.
Yeah.
Offense wasn't clicking. Defense wasn't too bad, but, you know, they were, like, playing teams like the Steelers offense. So, you know, maybe, I don't know. But they still,
Fighting
after
me
7
also.
games with a 3-game rough start, they have the 11th ranked defense giving up 18 points a game, and they have the 11th ranked offense scoring 24.7 yards a game, and they got the number 5 passing offense in the league. And you keep in mind, the 3 games they lost to the Steelers, 3 points. Cowboys, 3 points. Ravens, 2 points. They've lost 3 games by a total of 8 points. So they've been in every game. They've never been blown out. Their next 3 games are against the Browns, the Panthers, and the Steelers. So they can easily be 7-3 at the end of those 3 games.
Can we get that
And
schedule?
the rest, and the rest of the way, right now they're only playing 4 teams the rest of the way that right now have a winning record. And this isn't the NFC, this is the AFC. Okay, the NFC is just god awful. Everybody's 500 or a game below or a game above. But we're talking about in the AFC, 4 games left with any team above 500. Sorry, Shaq, that's not one of your teams. And then but you just look at this last week, right? Against the Falcons, 35-17, right? Which I'm still feel really good about my best 0-2 pick, that being the Falcons. Burrow was back to doing things that he was doing at the end of last year. 34-42, 481 yards and 3 touchdowns. And then he got Boyd with 8 catches, 155 yards and a touchdown. Chase, 8 catches, 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. Like, that offense is rolling now. So I never stopped believing them. They might have had a little bit of a hangover. I don't know what it was those first few weeks, but they're looking good now.
Yeah, I'm on the same page. I did for a brief moment there. Like, we had the question a few weeks ago, scale of 1 to 10, how much are you panicking on the Bengals? And I was somewhere high on that, like 9 or 10. So I definitely was off the wagon for a little while. But now that they're looking better, I'm buying back into them. Their offense is looking similar to what it was last year, like you said, with Boyd and Chase being just absolute dogs again. The O-line has held up a bit better these past few weeks, so Burrow isn't just running for his life the whole time. And also, another reason I'm buying back in is because the other three teams in that division are showing to be pretenders, just like the AFC West, where unfortunately it's like, damn, I thought this was going to be at least a two-team race, but one team can't seem to get their head out of their ass, and the other two are just hopeless.
And that's what I was just about to ask you. Like, was part of your concern with Cincinnati because Baltimore was playing so well?
Yeah.
And you thought that maybe Baltimore was going to run away with them while they were still trying to figure it out? Because now Baltimore seems lost.
Right.
They don't know what to do inside the 5, man. Once they get to the 5-yard line, they're like a bunch of monkeys trying to hump a football. I don't know what happens with that team. They get at the 5-yard line and they just lose their shit. I don't understand it.
Yeah, it's strange, but hey, it all works in the favor of the Bengals. So,
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
All right, that's another wrap up of this week in the NFL. So let's get to the news for the week. Let's start off with a couple of trades. So trade deadline quickly approaching, and the Eagles traded a 4th-round pick to the Bears in exchange for Robert Quinn. Eagles loading on up. They're trying to get all the final Infinity Stones so they can go for the whole thing. What do you guys think about this trade that they were able to pull off for a 4th-round pick?
Good for them. I think they're starting to really realize that this combination of people and this team right here might be it. It might be their magic touch. So they're really trying to solidify, put the last bits and pieces they need to get together. So it's like, it's just, to me, scary because this is the last team I want to see be really good. Don't get me wrong, really great team, solid, but might be a complete team. True question is, what do they do come postseason? Is a true question, I feel like, of this team when it comes to
completeness. Yeah. We got a long way to go before that, though. They will be there, though. But
I was undefeated, so
there's no doubt they'll be there. But go ahead, Malin.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're stealing a page out of the playbook from the Rams, where they are using their draft capital to load up now to try to win a Super Bowl because they understand that talent they can get now that's proven in the NFL is better than talent that's unrealized that you can get from a 3rd or 2nd or 4th round pick. And so I think that's a good move for them. I think that defense has already been solid to get somebody like Robert Quinn that, yes, he's a little bit longer in the tooth, but he's still got, in my opinion, at least 2 to 3 years left. Maybe is a limited role. I don't think he's going to be a 3-down edge rusher. I don't think that he's going to necessarily be that for the Eagles, but I think he gives them a lot more depth. And I think they're loading up. They want to strike while the iron's hot. They're 6-0. They know they're going to the playoffs. But like Shaq said, they're going to have to do a little bit more on offense before they make me a believer that they're going to be able to do something in the postseason, because in the postseason, you're going to have to be able to throw the ball more than you run the ball.
Yep.
They can find themselves in the second half of a game tied down to, up to, like, there's going to be some plays that need to happen through the air. And I'm not really sure they've been in a position where they've really had to come back in the second half so far this year. The only game that really comes to mind was against the Lions, where they jumped up to a big lead and then they just hung on. And that's what they've been doing all year. They jump up to a big lead, and then in the 3rd and 4th quarter, they're not that great. So I still feel like they need something on offense. I don't know what that something is. I don't think that you can go into the postseason with Jalen Hurts as your best running back. But they're doing big things right now, and they're putting all their chips into the middle of the table. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't have too much to say on this, but they are taking a page out of the Rams playbook, and let's kind of hedge everything right now and just try and win now. Don't even think about tomorrow. We've got something going here, and let's go for it all. I think Robert Quinn, like you say, he's probably got a couple more years left at a high level, so he'll be a good fit without a doubt. But their questions do come more on the offense and how dynamic they can be coming down the stretch. Next bit of news. So Breece Hall tore his ACL, and the Jets said, let's go out and get James Robinson for a conditional 6th round pick from the Jaguars. So, Jets said, we want to keep this train going. We do not want to miss a beat. And the Jags said, we don't need him, so take him. What'd you guys think about this trade going down?
I feel the Jets are some sort of running on some sort of magic fumes right now. So even with this magical somewhat piece they think they got,
It's the sauce.
yes, I don't think the sauce will last very long. about week 9 or 10, we're like, all right, done with the Jets.
So you don't think this will matter?
No, not at
For
least.
them.
The Jets will be the Jets. But unfortunately, I feel like it's one of those teams that it comes down to management and coaching is going to be. It's usually always a problem. Never ever a player stands set. Granted, players does make a factor, but I feel like they're going to crumble on themselves due to top to bottom.
All right, go ahead.
That's my standpoint on this team.
I actually think that this is something that the Jets can sustain a little bit. And when I say a little bit, I think they can
2
do
weeks.
enough to make the playoffs. I really do. I think they could end up being a playoff team because there's enough. Think about it. Who else in the AFC right now? You got the Chargers that are banged up, right? Only one team's going to come out of the AFC North. You got the Titans playing good right now until Derrick Henry gets hurt. 3-1 Colts, which we'll talk about in a second, just bench their quarterback for someone that's never thrown a pass in the NFL.
Yep.
And then you go into the AFC East where you have the Bills and you have Miami, and I'm sorry, Shaq, but right now or not Shaq, but Jalen, you have
Maybe
the Jets winning. Yeah, could be because he's at the bottom of the barrel too. But Robert Saleh, the head coach of the Jets, was the defensive coordinator of the Niners that led that vaunted defense that took them to a Super Bowl, is taking them to the NFC Championship game. He has that defense running on all cylinders. And yes, they do have Sauce Gardner. Now, he might not be the number 1 rated rookie cornerback in the NFL. That would be Tariq Woolen. Thank you very much. But I think that they've done enough with this trade to be able to sustain something. Now, it sucks because Hall was doing amazing, man. He had so many big runs, and he had just ripped off a 68-yard touchdown in that game, like a quarter before he got hurt. And so he, for the season, had 463 yards, 4 touchdowns, with a 5.8 average. That's pretty unbelievable. Now they get someone like Robinson from the Jaguars, who lost his starting job to Travis. I always butcher names. Etienne.
Etienne.
Is that his name? Etienne, yes. The running back from Clemson that tore his ACL in preseason last year.
Right.
That kid, now that's an unbelievable story for him to come back from an ACL tear. He's run for 450 yards. He's having a 6.1 average. But listen, Robinson's got 340 yards, a 4.2 average, and he has 3 touchdowns. It's not like he's a nobody running back that isn't going to be able to produce right off the bat. So as long as they have a running back, because I think that Hall was more of a product of the offensive system maybe than just talent alone. Otherwise, you would have heard of him before. I think Robinson can kind of plug in there and kind of help steady the ship the rest of the way. And if the rest of the AFC keeps going the way that the AFC is, like, the Jets could be there at the end of the year. That's kind of crazy because nobody was thinking that. And Saleh was telling people after they were 0-2, he was taking receipts. Well, he might be cashing them in. They keep this train rolling.
If the Jets make the playoffs this year, I'm going to jump off of a bridge because that means we did not at the cost of the Jets going. So
So they're gonna be one and done.
I swear. Just like the goddamn playoffs this year.
The Jets. Think of
Okay,
that, y'all.
but-
The Jets in the playoffs.
But don't you think it's at least a possibility right now?
It unfortunately it is a very good one.
It's not like they've just beaten a bunch of no-name teams. Like they've done pretty well.
In a realm that we're talking about the Eagles and the Jets the same year, very much being a.
Speaking of stupid stuff, let's talk about something else stupid. So Frank Clark is suspended for 2 games for violating the
Fucking
league's
idiot.
personal conduct policy. So he was pulled over twice last year, and police found firearms in his car on both occasions. So he's been sentenced to a year of probation and 40 hours of community service. So Frank Clark will not be out on the field for the Chiefs for the next few weeks here. Any thoughts on Frank Clark?
Man, he hasn't been playing that well anyways this year. That's part of the problem the Chiefs offense have had, is that it's usually been Chris Jones and Frank Clark coming from both sides. And Frank Clark has not been that good. I mean, he's been average, but when you've been very good to at least really good, he's had some drop off. Now, he had some issues in college, and that's how he slid to the second round to the Seahawks when they drafted him out of Michigan. I think back in 2016, I think it was. I think they drafted him back in 2016, 2017. And he kind of stayed the path with the Seahawks, but then he goes to the Chiefs. And let's not kid ourselves, man. For a team that's uber talented, they have a lot of off-field issues. A lot of them.
Yes.
I mean, Kareem Hunt beating the hell out of people in a hotel. Andy Reid's son driving drunk and killing somebody. You got Frank Clark, going out there and doing this. Like, can people just calm down in Kansas City? Like, do they get to do whatever the hell they want to do just because they're winning football games? But, Andy Reid, for everything that he's always been great at, he's never been the type of head coach that's run the tightest of ships, and things can kind of go by the wayside. Personality, stuff like that. I mean, we all remember the Donovan McNabb and Terrell Owens crap that happened. He kind of lets that stuff happen. He lets people be people. And Frank Clark is the type of person you don't want him to be himself, because he's going to get in trouble. So he kind of deserves it. I mean, you do stupid things, you win stupid prizes. So good for him.
Just because he pick up ignorance to a good team doesn't mean they're not gonna be ignorant anymore. Unfortunately,
well,
you would think just because he gives somebody with incredible talent money for being talented, they're gonna change their ways. No, not just getting more opportunities to be stupid. So that's the
right.
the realm we live in. Unfortunately, I hate to see it. It's a wasted opportunity of people gifted with great opportunities and just you can't pull this shit together.
Yeah. I mean, Andy Reid does run a loose ship, but not to say that this couldn't happen under a different coach, but just kind of stuff you see.
Didn't happen under Pete Carroll.
Right.
Just saying.
Last but not least, Matt Ryan benched for Sam Ellinger.
Yeah.
Oh, folks, how things change so quickly just within a month and a half of the NFL being back. Matt Ryan wasn't the answer in Indy, apparently. What do you guys think about Matty Ice taking the seat on the bench?
Comical.
Early?
Yeah, comical. You hate to see it, but you love to see it at the same time. It's like, you're gonna pick up Matt Ryan, you just solve all of our quarterback problems, and then within a span of a month, be like, nope, sit down. Tired of your shit. So it's just how fast people's opinions can change in a matter of weeks. So it's wonderful. It's like a bad toxic relationship. It's great. Not talking from experience though.
I think it's crazy that two of the NFL's MVPs in the last 7 years are not playing in the NFL right now. Like starting, like Cam Newton and Matt Ryan. Who would have thought that when Cam Newton won an MVP when he did back in 2015 and or 2016, then I think it was 2018 that Matt Ryan won the won the MVP. It was 2017 and 2018. You would have thought that. I mean, he's 38 years old. Tom Brady's out there still slinging it at 45. Now, not as well as he was when he was 44, but I mean, 38 is not supposed to be that old anymore in the NFL, you know. But in my opinion, I think it's less to do with Matt Ryan. I think it's more to do with the team. The Colts are a dysfunctional organization, man.
They are absolutely.
You let go. You let go of Peyton Manning. Your owner's doing coke off of strippers' asses. You draft Andrew Luck.
Allegedly.
You can't. No, that's been proven.
And even if it's proven,
I know, but it's still crazy. And yet he's saying that other people need to sell their team. But we don't need to go down that rabbit hole. But then you get a generational passer in Andrew Luck, right? And Andrew Luck, they can't put an O-line around Andrew Luck.
Stupid.
So he retires. He's like, I ain't dealing with this crap no more. And then what do? They get Phillip Rivers as a Band-Aid. Then they get Carson Wentz as a Band-Aid. Then they get Matt Ryan as a Band-Aid. And they got the 31st ranked offensive line in the league. And if you look at these stats, right, like this is crazy. He has the fourth most passing yards in the NFL at 2,008 passing yards. He's one of only 4 quarterbacks to have over 2,000 yards passing. Sounds pretty decent, right? He's got 9 touchdowns. That's cool. You want to know what else he has? He has 9 interceptions. It's the worst in the league. He has 24 sacks. That's tied for the worst in the league. He has 11 fumbles.
Jesus.
That's the worst in the league.
11.
And they're 29th in scoring. You cannot tell me that is all on Matt Ryan. They have no running game. Jonathan Taylor, what's happening with the running game out there? They have no answer at running back right now. Nothing at all. But to me, this is exactly what the Colts get for trying to put a Band-Aid on a bleeding artery for 4 to 5 to 8 years after they lose Peyton Manning. Why? Because if they bench him and if he doesn't play next year, they still owe him $18 million. So Matty Ice is still going to be cashing checks worth of $18 million next year, even if they let him go, which good for him. Get your cash, buddy. Make it. And then Ellinger, he wowed people in the preseason. Nobody plays in the preseason anymore. Who are you wowing? I don't know. Like, they're playing against high school teams? I don't understand it. He's a second-year pro from Texas. They think that his mobility is going to help the team, but the reason why they need his mobility is because the team is garbage, and Matt Ryan was running for his freaking life. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I understand that Matt Ryan hasn't necessarily been playing his best, but I think that Indianapolis did him dirty. I don't think that was a situation that he deserved to be in at the end of his career. And I kind of feel bad for the guy a little bit.
That organization is just
yeah,
awful. If you go from Peyton Manning to transition to Andrew Luck, who was the next best thing, and he retired, it's just asinine. It doesn't even make any sense. It's like if you win the lottery and then the lotto ticket burns itself up because it just didn't want to be cashed in.
And that type of transition has only happened like 3 times in the NFL. Like the Niners went from Montana to Young. Green Bay went from Favre to Rodgers. They had the luxury of going from Manning to Luck, and they fucked it up. So they deserve, like, I wish they had to pay Matt Ryan more money.
Yeah, it feels like they're kind of cursed at this
ridiculous,
point.
man.
Put yourself in more debt.
So, I mean, how do you literally have Peyton Manning, Phillip Rivers, Carson Wentz, Matt Ryan? Those are your quarterbacks, right? And you have 1 Super Bowl.
I know.
One Super Bowl. Those are your quarterbacks for the last 24 years. And you have 1 Super Bowl. god awful mother.
That sums it all up right there. All right. We are going to go to our halftime. When we come back, we have our L's of the week and your favorite segment, the Ride or Die in 5, where you all make a bit of money off of our expertise.
Especially off one set of picks.
Jesus is coming back tomorrow, folks.
I mean, I don't know. I need to hear this trumpet sound first.
All right.
Just might blow it through Shaq's ears so it reverbs around the whole.
There's a
whole
lot of
world.
space between my ears, so you gotta work through a lot.
Okay. We'll be back in just a bit.
Oh, this show is great.
Hey there, After Further Review fans. We got a question for you that's bigger than Shaq's goddamn forehead. So here we go. Who, in your opinion, is the most underrated player heading into this year's NFL season? Is it a kicker like Justin Tucker? Is it a wide receiver like Keenan Allen? Is it backup running back on your favorite team that probably sucks? You let us know who is the most underrated player in this NFL season, and we'll let Shaq know. Bye.
Who led the AFC in reception yards?
Tyreek Hill.
Incorrect.
Just say an answer. Somebody.
Who is Jamar Chase?
There we go. 200 to G Money.
NFC for 200.
This person led the NFC in reception.
Who is Cooper Cup?
Correct.
Alex, I'll take your mother for 200.
This team had 3 players on the top playoff reception leaders list.
Buffalo Bills.
Correct.
Who are the Los Angeles Rams?
Incorrect.
Is Kansas City?
Correct.
How many points is that?
This person led the Bills in playoff reception yards.
Come on, man. There's a number. I know it's 13.
Oh, you did get it right.
Yes.
Gabriel Davis.
God damn it. Yes, Gabriel Davis.
1,000 from right under Shaq's nose.
How you doing now?
Real weird guessing jersey numbers.
Did you know AFR is also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts? Click the first link in the description below to listen to the most recent episode of the show.
You cannot dispute it, man. I have a more complete team than you.
I've already given it to you, Malin. I already said you have the best squad out here.
I heard you, and that took a lot for you to say.
Squad out.
You have the most complete team, but I wouldn't say you have the best team.
What team is better?
Mine.
All right.
Oh my god.
Ignorance. Oh, y'all. Ignorance.
Shaq still thinks this team is good. He has Bam Adebayo and James Harden.
But so? James Harden is still good, okay?
All right, tell the 76ers that.
Y'all took my first 2 or 3 big men that I wanted. Stop it.
Tyler.
Besides my... y'all...
That's the first
You had the first pick.
I know, but I didn't think y'all were gonna choose big men heavy off the jump off the big.
Well, he was the MVP.
In the NBA, there's not a lot of big men in the NBA.
I assumed y'all were gonna be those type of people who go choose guards and forwards heavy. So I was like, maybe I have at least one. I had at least one round.
You thought we were all stupid, huh?
No, that's all I said.
I thought we were all dumb as him. I would just like to point out one more time that Shaq and What's Up With That was trying to sell us
on Zion.
How this man actually looks like he slimmed down, actually put on a little bit of muscle tone, and can actually be like a powerhouse of a center.
On freaking
And
Zion.
here we are.
And
here we are.
And y'all would
we needed a big man.
Y'all would have judged me for picking Zion. Zion has not played in almost 2 seasons. That man has not played basketball in about 2 seasons. Don't let me pick this man.
That man went with Odebayu over Zion.
Yes. You know why? Because that man played.
This is Shaq's a sly dude. This dude talking about.
Zion,
Hey, come on, look at Zion. Look at how good
I try to sell you.
Come on, I ain't trying to have.
I am the used car salesman of the basketball world. Look at him, he's there. You got a family of 5. I can stack them in here. Family of 5, drive around town.
What you did was you had 2 choices. There was like a 2020 Tesla that was broke down on the side of the road that just needed to do battery in Zion, and you went for the 86 Buick Cutlass. Like that's what you did. Like you went for old reliable.
Like this man wasn't on the third best team in the NBA this past season.
Can we stop with the third best team statistic?
Why be hating on me for choosing LeBron as like one of y'all wouldn't have chosen LeBron if it was still available?
Shaq had the first pick, and I knew 12 hours ago he was taking LeBron James.
True or untrue? Would y'all have chosen LeBron if he was still available at some point in a team? No. Stop lying to me. Stop lying to me.
I would not have taken LeBron. Nope.
Why y'all sit here both-faced lying to me? This is not an audio podcast. This is video. People are watching us.
Hold on. My first 2 picks were Giannis and Joker, and they still would have been my first 2 picks.
Yep.
If LeBron James is still available.
But would you have not chosen LeBron if he was still available at some point?
Nope.
Maybe a 3rd pick, but that would have been like pick 12. Number 1.
Okay.
If I could have any 2 picks, I would have taken the same as Malin's, Giannis and Jokic first 2.
It was great. Episode 90. Thank you y'all for watching.
Shut it down.
Shaq's 6 man would have been the barbershop show that LeBron James does. That would have been his.
He'd have taken the shop number 6.
He'd have taken the shop. That would have been his 6th pick. He probably thought that came with LeBron James.
Hold on, Shaq.
3rd pick, but that would have been like pick 12. Number 1.
Okay.
If I could have any 2 picks, I would have taken the same as Malin's, Giannis and Jokic first 2.
It was great. Episode 90. Thank you y'all for watching.
Shut it down.
Shaq's 6 man would have been the barbershop show that LeBron James does. That would have been his.
He'd have taken the shop number 6.
He'd have taken the shop. That would have been his 6th pick. He probably thought that came with LeBron James.
Hold on, Shaq, that does not count. And Nike shoes and Blaze Pizza.
I get LeBron 12s. I don't even know if LeBron has 12 shoes, but he gets LeBron 12s.
I thought Shaq tried to close the show out 2 minutes ago.
And here we are, still roasting me for another 2 minutes after trying to close the show out.
I picked Rudy Gobert. We're racking on Shaq.
Nestor took Rudy Gobert. We're racking on Shaq.
This is why I try to close the show out.
For LeBron.
Remember to follow the show on Instagram and TikTok at AFR Sports. That's it, AFR Sports. Now back to the show with your hosts Jalen, Shaquille, and Malin.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back to your favorite show on the internet. It's our last show before Halloween, so we're gonna get a little spooky here.
Speaking of spooky, at the end of the show, we'll send y'all a link to our side hustle for we're going on the show. Y'all, y'all look out for that.
Taking us from here to 2023 and beyond.
Yeah, I'm sure Mel will be really happy about that. All right, gentlemen. You guys are drinking your Saxon Irish whiskey there. Good
Yes.
stuff.
What do you have there, Malin?
Oh, I'm still using this bottle of Buffalo Trace. It's kind of sad though because I just opened it a week ago. So,
Jesus.
Yeah.
A week.
It's been a rough week. It's been a rough week.
Man drinks like his house burned down yesterday.
Pretty sure that my body's so full of alcohol. If you just lit me with a match, I'd just burn.
Man runs out of gas inside the road.
Fluid.
Shakes
Yeah, I'm
his
pretty
grip.
sure I opened this last Wednesday. So yeah, all right.
A
Well,
full week.
I'll check into an AA meeting. That's fine. Whatever.
I hope with the rest of us.
So
I'll see y'all at Miller's next week.
You planning our next drinking event halfway through the show.
you know what? I gotta tell you though, I keep telling myself I'm gonna stop using this Yeti tumbler for water because every time I do it, I look at myself in the video. You cannot drink water from a straw and not look like a bitch. Like you can't. Like just watch it. You can't do it. It's terrible. It's the worst thing ever is to look at somebody drinking through a straw. You damn fool.
Well,
Anyways, glad everybody's back from break. That'd be
yes.
fun. Talk about some L's.
Yes. Before we do that, if you would like to follow us on Instagram and TikTok, it is in OF at AFR Sports. OF is pending, but on the other two, it is at AFR Sports. You can keep up with any questions that we post to you guys, any little stupid videos that we might make about the New England Patriots, or any little, clickbaity thirst trap foot type videos that'll get you to go to our OF. But
We're in Geno Smith jerseys while we do it. You gotta keep it sports related.
You don't want to see your face. You don't want to see the feet.
Oh no, you can't. Neck down. Neck down.
I'll do mine wearing a Pickett jersey with the nursery rhyme, little piggy one on there.
Okay, so that's why nobody follows us. So the L's of the week. You might as well just actually hop into that. So we will start off with the fact that the Patriots got embarrassed by the Bears at home on Monday night. 33-14 was the final score. Oh, the drama of this game. So
So much drama.
Mac Jones cleared to play. He came out fired up. I said, all right, MJ10 back in the bag. And then he came out for 3 possessions before he threw an interception. And Bill said, sit your ass down. Out came the zap.
Zap, zap.
And he zapped him. 2 TDs. Place was going bananas. Here comes Tom Brady 2.0. And then, we would go to halftime, come back, and that was it for the zap. That was that. You just threw 2 picks. Nothing happened on offense. The Bears just ran up the score on us, and everybody in the stands were just looking around cold. Well, that was fun, wasn't it, in that first half? So we've got some drama. Before I get into the quarterback situation, though, I do want to ask you guys what you thought about this game.
Now, when I started this game, I was like, who the fuck even plays for the Bears now? I'm trying to think of the roster for the Bears.
Awful.
Jesus Christ, Shaq.
It's like, is Urlacher still there?
I was like, how little I think of the Bears. Like, those are one of those teams you forget it's still a franchise when they ask to like list the names of NFL teams.
You hear that, Chi-Town?
Like, God, the
How
Bears.
do you forget that the Bears are a team?
Because of the Bears. Was the last time the Bears were relevant and you cared about the Bears?
Jesus.
Yeah. So I was like,
One of your quarterbacks did play for them previously.
and he barely playing for us now.
Hey, he had a better record with the Bears than he does with the Steelers.
Yes, he's on the field barely playing, so I can't. I'm sorry we're actually paying money to have this man on the team. But yeah, I was like, this game is very rough for y'all. Y'all were doing so well, and then
we weren't.
Yep. Sounds like the Patriots in the past. This whole season, really.
Yeah.
From week to week is really defending up your season.
It's bad.
Y'all will win and then erase y'all's memory and start from scratch and rebuild and go on to the next week. So it's pretty rough.
Go ahead, Malin.
Well, I mean, aside from the fact that Shaq forgot that Chicago Bears were an NFL team, that I know that you want my analysis about like the game and them losing or whatnot before we go into the quarterback situation, but it's kind of impossible to separate the two.
Yeah, we could.
Because I don't think that Mac Jones. Yeah, like I don't think Mac Jones should have even started the game. Because I'm not 100% sure that he's 100% healthy. Okay, Zappe came in and scored 29 in 33, 34 points in 2 games. And they put Mac Jones out there in an impossible situation because he's at home against a Bears team that New England decided, you know what, we're not going to stop the run. So the Bears jump on him 10-0. And then Jones goes 3 series. I think one of them or 2 of them were 3 and out. And then he actually moved the ball a little bit. Then he threw an interception. And then they put Zappe in, which until that game, I didn't know his name was actually Zappe. I was just thought I was making fun of him, but his name actually is Zappe. And his first name is Bailey, based off of a 90s sitcom, Party of Five, which is funny. You should look it up because he looks nothing like him. And he comes out there and leads the team down to 2 touchdowns. Right now, they weren't the best throws.
Yeah, like, they were a little wacky.
Those wide receivers
made a
were
hell
doing
of
some
plays.
they were doing some U.S. gymnastic shit, trying to do the pole vault, some crazy stuff. But they scored some touchdowns, right? But the crowd was going crazy. But then what happened is that the Patriots decided, you know what, we still don't want to stop the run. And they let Fields go for 82 yards. They let Montgomery go for 62 yards. And they even let the backup running back, Herbert. His last name is Herbert. Okay? He ran for 62 yards. For a total of 243 yards. When was the last time an offense ran for 243 yards against the New England defense? I don't know, and I don't have the time to fact check it because I don't think it's ever happened under Belichick. So what ended up happening is that Zappe had to start playing from behind, which is something he didn't have to do the first 2 games. Didn't have to do that the first 2 games, right? So he starts pressing, starts throwing it into triple coverage, doing some crazy stuff. And they just end up getting demolished. And I think it's less to do with what Jones did or what Zappe did. I think it's more to do with the New England defense. They couldn't hold any momentum because they allowed the Bears to run roughshod over them. But at the end of the day, I think that they have ruined Mac Jones. I said it in the chat, ruined him. It doesn't matter what happened in the second half of the game. He comes in, 3 drives, nothing happens, throws an interception. Zappe comes in, throws 2 touchdowns. Doesn't matter what's happened in the second half because everybody could see what was happening with the defense. And now they're going to start Mac Jones again. The reason why I say he's ruined is because he's going to start pressing. Because he's going to feel that at any moment, Bill Belichick is going to pull him out and put Zappe back in. He no longer has the confidence that he's the unquestioned starter of the team. So I think that Belichick, for everything that he's done right, I still think he's the greatest coach of all time. I think he needed to play Zappe until Zappe did what he did in the second half versus the Bears. And then you put Mac Jones in. Don't put Mac Jones into a situation in a game in front of a home crowd that just saw the backup quarterback did what he did the last 2 weeks. Then let him replicate that for one half. And now you're going to play flip-flop the rest of the year. That was an impossible situation for Jones. And I don't know that he's got to have one hell of a mental fortitude to come back from this.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's not past the point of no return. I really hope so, because I mean, obviously if that's the case, Jesus. But Bill Belichick, what the hell, man? Like, why wouldn't you just name a starter and stick with them? The old saying, if you have two quarterbacks, that means you have none, is very true. We all have seen that throughout the history of the NFL. Like, whenever you're in that situation, it never works out the best in the end. So, you know, you just got to make a decision and stick with it. If it doesn't work out, then it doesn't work out. But the wishy-washy thing is definitely not going to work out. So I know that he's named Mac the starter this weekend. Hopefully that sticks, and hopefully Mac isn't completely in his feelings at this point. But, yeah, I mean, just this whole year just kind of sums up with just indecisiveness of the offensive coordinator situation, the fact that it's like, well, we're just gonna, you know, kind of work it out between three people. You should just make a decision and just stick with it. The quarterback situation, what the hell? You know, if he was gonna start Zappe and just go with that, I wouldn't have a problem with it. Obviously, the crowd really wanted that. But on the same note of the crowd, though, yo, Patriots fans, you gotta stop thinking that everybody's gonna be the next Tom Brady. Like, please relax with that. Those are some huge shoes to fill, and to just always be thinking that
that's once in a lifetime type of
player. Like, we had a lightning in a bottle 2 decades. That was fantastic. We are not getting that again, and any other team would be lucky to get that again. We aren't going to be that team again.
No.
Well, hold on a second, because they just saw the Packers do that during the 20 years that they had Tom Brady.
Oh yeah, in there,
right?
Mm-hmm.
So they saw it happen before. But like I said, where they made the mistake is you have to let the backup run the course until he messes up. Like, we dog on the Cowboys all the time, right? But the best thing that could have happened to the Cowboys and Dak Prescott is Cooper Rush go out there against the Eagles and fall on his face.
Right, come back down to earth.
Because then there's no question who the starter is.
Mm-hmm.
So you keep playing Zappe until he falls on his face, and if he doesn't fall on his face, he doesn't fall on his face. Then you have your quarterback. But to play the wishy-washy like they're doing right now is just ruining the confidence for Mac Jones in a way that, like, he doesn't deserve that, man. So yeah. I kind of felt like he was put in an impossible situation on Monday night. That crowd was charged up wanting Zappe from the get-go.
Right.
And you saw him pressing in the first week. What do you think he's going to do next week? He's going to do the same thing. He's going to feel like he has to score a touchdown every drive, or Zappe's going to come in.
Right.
It's a big miss.
And unfortunately, we aren't playing the old Jets next week. Like, the Jets are ready to rumble this week, so it's no cakewalk.
So I don't know. I just think Matt Jones deserved a little bit better than the situation he was put in. What do you think, Shaq? You gotta have an opinion.
Shaq has an opinion about something else.
Yes. On a side note, other than what I'm thinking about, but with this team, that's the only thing y'all share, or any team shares with my team, is a the indecisiveness of quarterback issue where y'all just flip flop between quarterback. I'm the same thing of Trubisky, the other
Yeah,
and the other
unfortunately.
hooligan of Pickett, where every other week I feel like we're just all.
Did you forget his name for half a second?
Yes, I forgot his last name for half a second. I'll be honest with y'all. But like we religiously live on the aspect of who's gonna be starting for us this week. We know if Homeboy starts doing bad this week, we're gonna throw in this other man this week. And it's just a
Stop. You can't do that.
and it just I feel like all you're doing is killing yourselves because all
Right.
you're doing is first of all defeating the quarterback you take out mental. It's a mental thing.
right. Like these are people at the end of the day.
Like, how do you feel if you get like halfway through your shift, your
Right.
boss is like, "Go ahead and sit down real quick." Sit down real quick. It's mentally defeating. So it's just let this man finish out this game. If he doesn't do well, he doesn't do well. It's okay. The fans are just trying to make sure you figure out the recipe by the end of the season. It's just like, all right, so Homeboy didn't work out this season. Let's do it Homeboy next season.
At the end of the day, your two teams, the Patriots and Steelers, right? And even my Seahawks are in this right now. Like, I know that Geno Smith is playing really well right now, but we can't guarantee that for a full season, right? We're in the same boat that our three teams. We're in the same boat that the Colts have fucked up for the last decade. Meaning that you have a franchise quarterback
It's funny.
that has been the face of your franchise for 10, 18, 20 years. And now we're trying to figure out who the next face is going to be. So, yeah, fans are going to be itching like, give us the next Big Ben. Give us the next Tom Brady. Give us the next Russell Wilson. Give us the next Peyton Manning. And that's not an easy thing to navigate. But you would think that the Steelers and the Patriots would have a little bit of a better head on their shoulders on what they're doing with the quarterback situation than what they're doing now. Not to say that my Seahawks have it figured out because they don't have no young buck that they've already drafted where they're doing this flip-floppy thing. It was Geno Smith and Drew Lock. Let's face it. You're talking about two people that, Jesus, you're surprised they're still in the NFL. But the Patriots and the Steelers had veterans, had rookies or someone that just won Rookie of the Year, and they just seem to kind of be bumbling in a way that you wouldn't expect the Patriots and the Steelers to do right now.
I think they just got so like complacent with having a Hall of Famer or having having a Hall of Famer. They're just kind of like, shit. We actually gotta mold somebody. We actually gotta do something different.
Yeah.
This person isn't just ready to perform at any dime. It's like this is somebody we actually gotta build up to be somebody.
I mean, the Steelers forgot that before Big Ben, they had Tommy Maddox and Cordell Stewart and Neil O'Donnell. So that was something.
You might have to rely on somebody more than just a quarterback. You might actually have to build a defense. You might have to build weapons around it. It's like it's okay to have an average quarterback, but if you have other like aspects going on, like a great defense, a great receiving core that can pick up for an average quarterback, it could work. But like I said, you can't. Mentally, I'm hoping that they catch on to the aspect of,
and then
you can have more than just a quarterback.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is the running game.
Mm-hmm.
Have a running game. Like who's the Patriots starting running back right now?
It's between Dame Harris and
I don't know him.
The fact that you can't name one name as a solid starting quarterback is an issue.
Right, it's a tandem. It's not really one of them.
I'm not saying this to be mean, Shaq, but Najee Harris is not holding up his end of the bargain this year.
But I 100% agree with you. I'm not even I'm not even disagreeing with you.
Yeah, he's averaging like 3 yards a carry. So when you have young quarterbacks, when you're trying to figure out your next quarterback, you at least have to have a running game.
Yeah, I think Najee was so used to having
either have a running game.
I think Najee was so used to having Big Ben that Big Ben, even at the end of his prime, was just barely good enough to like sometimes bail you out in the passing game. Where Najee's realizing that, I have nobody to bail me out of this like bad performance week. If I do bad, it's really gonna show. I really gotta like really perform.
Yeah.
I think what's happening with Steelers right now is that no one respects the Pittsburgh passing game right now because Big Ben isn't there.
Yeah,
so
and-
they're loading the box against Najee Harris,
Right.
and the quarterback isn't able to do it. So you need a great offensive line. You need a stellar running back to be able to weather that storm, and neither of those teams seem to have that in the mix right now, and that's going to continue to be a problem also.
All right. Now that we talked about that,
everything
it needed to be talked about.
Everything and more.
We needed to air it out.
Yes.
We even got Steelers in there.
No, we sure did.
So I squeeze the Steelers in there even when they're not supposed to be in there.
Speaking of teams that are not supposed to be in there, the Bucks could not score a touchdown against the Panthers. They lost 21-3 in Carolina. Man.
Can I tell you, this was the most exciting and riveting shit to me watching it. Like, I was at work and just watching this shit play. I was like, man, hey, Bucks fans humbled. The past 2 weeks, humbled.
Coming from a former Tom Brady fan, usually at halftime, like, oh, Tom will figure it out. At halftime, I knew they're not going to score. They are not going to score another touchdown. They look absolutely awful. They're not going to do anything.
Yep.
I mean, it's crazy to me because, and I'm so glad that my wife doesn't watch the show because she's a big Bucks fan. She'd come out here with a knife and stab my ass. But they look lost. 100% lost. You know what they look like? They look like they have a quarterback that isn't 100% in it.
Yep.
And the team knows it. That's exactly what they look like. And it reminds me of the Minnesota Vikings with Brett Favre back in 2009, 2010, where they went to the NFC Championship game. They lost to the Saints. They brought it. He came back for one more year when he was going to retire, and then he had one of the worst years of his career. And I think they won 4 or 5 games the whole year, and they were nothing like they were the year before.
Yeah.
And here you have Tom Brady leading the league in touchdowns, top 3 in yards. The defense was playing great. Now this year, nothing. Now the defense is still playing good. The defense is still a top 6 defense in the NFL, but the offense is 22nd. 22nd in the league with Tom Brady at quarterback. Now Tom Brady is still the 6th highest rated quarterback in the NFL right now, but they have no running game, and he's only thrown 8 interceptions. No running game at all, even with Leonard Fournette. And the fact that he's number 6 and Geno Smith is number 7 should tell you something. Like, the fact that Geno Smith is nipping at his heels for being a higher rated quarterback than him should tell you something. I don't see them winning the division. I don't see them making the playoffs. I'm calling it now. I think it's going to be the Falcons or the Saints that are going to win the division, and we'll be lucky if one of those teams has a winning record when they do.
Thank you for calling out the offense more so than the defense. This game was so needed to show folks in here in Tampa are so annoying. Oh, it's the defense. Defense can't stop for nothing, man. Defense so bad. All right, well, okay, this week, here you go. The Panthers, who just lost their 2 best players, no head coach, and y'all still couldn't score a touchdown. It's still the defense, right? That's the problem. Like, man, I'm so tired of Tampa fans. So thank God this happened because I think they needed to see that defense is not your problem.
Maybe Mike Evans catch a ball.
Yeah,
like that was
that wide open catch that he dropped.
Jeez,
my 10-year-old son could have caught that.
I'm glad he owned up to it.
Like that is, like they could have scored a touchdown, but he dropped that pass. But again, that was still off of a broken coverage, though, and a lot of their points have been off of broken coverages. Their offense is just in shambles.
Yeah, I was just to point out what everybody like to point out that Tom Brady should have retired a year or 2 ago. Let it be. Now this man about to lose his marriage and risk his dynasty coming off of this one single season of everybody just watching this man fumble around, do not a damn thing productive. Like, how embarrassing is it to see this supposedly the GOAT of all quarterbacks, and you just see him in the Bucks this season? Just,
I don't.
it's embarrassing.
Well, the crazy thing is that I don't think it's going to hurt Tom Brady's legacy at all.
Not at all.
Because at the end of the day, I still think that Tom Brady is going to have some stats. I still think that at the end of the year, after 17 games, they'll look at his stats and be like, a 45-year-old did that? Like, that's insane. Like, I still think that's going to happen. But the leadership, his in and out, 1 foot in, one out, will be a part of his legacy. It's not the same Tom Brady that we've seen for the first 20 years that he was the NFL. But at the end of the day, I think they're going to blame it more on the Bucks than they will Tom Brady. Why? Because the Bucks were nothing before Tom Brady, and they'll put it more on the organization, the coach, the new head coach, the everything else. I don't think it'll affect Tom Brady. I just think it's kind of sad he's going to lose his marriage over it.
Yeah, I see it as more of an aspect of or generation or age group and higher who sat there and watched Tom Brady's dynasty. You watched him during his prime, during everything else, but you get this newer generation of sports fans, like these newer kids or these new people who sat there and watched him towards the end of the Patriots into his Bucks. We did get to watch him during one ring, but they also got to watch him during this chaos. So,
I don't think they're gonna.
But it's the same aspect that people watch. People watch LeBron towards this era, this past couple of years. Like, oh, well, LeBron is kind of like, it's also.
The only reason why it won't matter, Shaq, is because does anyone talk about Michael Jordan being a Washington Wizard?
Exactly. Right.
No, they talk about what was great about him versus the not. And Tom Brady still won a Super Bowl in the Bucks uniform. So it's not like Joe Namath going to the Rams. It's not like Joe Montana going to the Chiefs. It's Tom Brady still won a ring. It's going to be more of a mark on the organization. It's going to be more of the Bucks are the Bucks, and Tom Brady couldn't save them this year. That's what history is going to tell. Even though Tom Brady is responsible for this demise. Hell, he got the head coach fired.
Sure. My only last argument to that is y'all still mention LeBron's bubble ring. Y'all don't say LeBron's ring with the Lakers. Y'all say LeBron's in the bubble ring with the Lakers.
Hell, is it a bubble ring?
I don't say that. I don't.
There's a lot of people that are like, there's a lot of people that are like, LeBron won a win with Lakers, but the bubble ring. I'm like, y'all really
can't all be bubble buddies.
But if we're really talking in like 10 or 15 years in the history books, LeBron James will have been the one that won a title during COVID.
Yeah,
like
and with every team,
it's going to come down.
And with every team that he's touched, he's won a ring with every single team that he's been on. If long term,
yes, he has.
But we don't need to turn this into a LeBron James topic. That's
a good transition because we are going right into the Lakers.
Smooth transition.
Now, folks at home, if you're new to this show, we just itch to talk about the Los Angeles Lakers.
On a week-to-week basis. We don't talk about the Lakers on a week-to-week. What are we really doing?
We have not talked about them in a few weeks, so we were like dying to get to them.
Like two.
I would also like to point out that our favorite teams are the Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat. Yet we talk about the Los Angeles Lakers more. So let's go into it.
So
everybody
the Lakers
loves a car crash. You can't look away from it.
They are playing Denver right now. They are losing by 7 points with about 7.5 minutes left, but that's neither here nor there. We are talking about their third game of the season when they lost to the Blazers. The Lakers were leading this game, and for some odd reason, Russell Westbrook thought it was in his best interest to go for in his words, a 2-for-1 and shoot the ball. Obviously, he missed. Gave the ball back to the Blazers, and the Blazers won the game. So, when asked about it after the fact, he thought that, hey, this is the best decision. I was going for a twofer. Come on now. This is basic basketball 101. And it was a bit odd that that's what his reasoning was. Just to throw this out, that night, Russ was 4 or 15 from the field and also missed all of his 3-pointers. So I just want to go ahead and put that out there. Russ was having the hot hand, thought that he should seal the deal on a 2-for-1 when you're ahead.
No, I don't even want to talk about the Blazers game. The funniest thing to me when it comes to Russell Westbrook was against the Clippers. Because they still can't beat the Clippers, for God's sakes. They lost 103-97, and Russell Westbrook was 0 for 11 from the field. And he was asked by a reporter, how would you rate your game tonight? How would you rate your performance? And Russell Westbrook goes, I think it was solid. I played hard. I was like, Joker, you didn't make a single bucket. You built a house for somebody with all them bricks. Actually, probably didn't, because he had a few air balls in there too, so he wasn't even laying the foundation for a house. But he's just so... He's in his own world. He really is. But at the end of the day, like I read a report today, Jalen, and you guys are gonna love this. Okay? I almost posted it in our general chat, but I wanted to save it for the show. The Lakers are on pace after just these 5 games to have the worst shooting percentage of any team in NBA history. They really are. Okay, they are shooting 21% from 3-point range. Now, why, when you're the Lakers and you don't have a 3-point shooter, I don't know why you've thrown up 118 3-pointers so far this year. But they've already shot 118 3-pointers, and they've made 21%. On top of that, they've only made 23% of their jump shots. 23% of their jump shots. They're shooting right now 40% from the field. You want to know the last time that anyone had a worse shooting percentage than the Lakers right now? Want to know when that was?
When was that?
Want me to tell you? It was the 2015 76ers while they were tanking in the middle of the process. They shot 41% from the field. The Lakers are worse than them. They're worse than them right now. That's how bad of a shooting team they are. Like, if I'm LeBron James, I'm seriously having a conversation with myself in my own head. Like, do I want to play with my son this bad? Do I want to keep playing basketball? This is just asinine. Like, Rob Pelinka, can you, Pelink your ass out of the league? You're so goddamn inept as a general manager. If Bus was still alive,
Jesus,
I swear to God, he would just take a shit on everybody. Just take a shit on all of their faces. Maybe not LeBron James, but he'd take a shit on everybody else. He'd be like, "What are you doing to my team?" Because his mantra was, "Yes, we play championship basketball, but it still needs to be entertaining." Not only are they not playing championship basketball, they're not entertaining, other than the fact that they're so goddamn bad.
It's entertaining.
Like, that is not the entertaining that he was talking about. Like, this team...
They were Showtime is gone, my friends.
Hey,
long gone.
How do you throw up 118 3-pointers? How do you do that?
Because this team's a struggle team, and Westbrook, unfortunately, is the kid with the helmet in the process. We just gotta.
I will say, we give Russ a lot of shit, well deserved. But I did see a stat the other day that if you look at the top 10 worst shooting guards through the first 3 or 4 games in the NBA this year, the first, I think, 4 are all in the Lakers, which is awful.
Yeah. I'm just saying, they've played 4 games and they've thrown up 118 3-pointers. They act like they got Steph Curry and Klay Thompson on their roster throwing up 118 threes.
The sad part is, can either one of you guys name one good 3-point shooter that's a member of the Los Angeles Lakers?
Nope.
Just one.
Oh,
No.
answer right there. No.
No. LeBron James is the best one, and he's a career 33%.
Right. He's a mediocre 3-point shooter. They don't have a single just shooter. Not on the team. Like, it's 2022. What the hell are you doing? How do you not have one shooter on your team?
So again, Rob Pelinka, like, go fuck
Yeah,
yourself.
come
Like,
on,
you're
man.
ruining. He is ruined this basketball team. He is
Absolutely.
the worst GM in NBA history. I'm calling it now. Outside of maybe anyone that, maybe was the GM of the Vancouver Grizzlies or the Toronto Raptors back in the day. But yeah, one of the worst, like at least top 5. For like, good God, how could you feel good about yourself putting that roster on the floor with LeBron James? That's worse than any roster he's ever had in his life, even when he was a rookie.
Easily.
Like, you could put J.R. Smith on that team right now, and they would be better.
Right. They'd be significantly
than what
better.
they are right now. Like, good God.
It's like, if you look at all LeBron's rings, the common theme is he was surrounded by shooters. And you decide to not put one around him. All right.
They need to get Ray Allen out of retirement. That's
He'd probably still be a better shooter than what they currently have.
just he would be. Just say, listen, man, just jog up and down the court, stand at the 3-point line. We'll try to get you a shot. Jesus. And then Kevin Garnett would come out of the stands and slap him because he still hates that he went from Boston to the Heat. And then he'd say, "We did this for you, Boston." It'd be great.
I'd love to see all of that. All right. Last but not least,
roster. Jesus.
we're going to get into the Ride or Die in 5. The Lake Show is over, folks. We couldn't help ourselves there. But now, into what you really came here for, and that is, of course, the Ride or Die in 5, where we give you our betting picks for this weekend in the NFL. So, let's start off with what happened last week. Malin still leads the charge, 99-56. He went 40. He went 4-1 last week. He is now plus 43. Shaq, I'm just gonna put his here real quick. He went 5-0 last week. Again,
Woo!
107.89. He's now
man this year.
plus.
Yeah,
18.
buddy.
I think it's kind of ironic. Just want to throw this out. That the year that Geno Smith is having a revival year is also the same year that Shaq is having a revival year.
Most
I'd like to
improved
say that
player.
The year that you have more 3-4 and 4-3 teams in NFL history after 7 games, Shaq is 5-0 and just been out of his mind and Ride or Die in 5.
I think
Nothing makes sense in this year.
All
I
right.
think
Nothing
Shaq
makes
is picked maybe 2 games wrong in the month of October. I think.
Yeah, he's crazy.
I mean, folks, if you are putting money on Shaq's picks right now,
God's plan.
I am 114-83. I was 3-2 last week, plus 31, and G Money taking up the back of the pack here, 14-16. He was 2-3 last week. He's -2. G Money is right there. He's right there.
I do got to ask you this, Jalen. Do you feel a little bit of heat right now with Shaq only 7 wins behind you?
No.
Okay.
I never get the credit I deserve, y'all. It's okay. Don't y'all worry about me. I'm used to being the underdog. It's okay.
No, wait, no. One thing I do got to say, and this is some props. Okay, this is some serious props, Shaq. I'm not even playing around. There was one point last year during the NFL season that Shaq, I think, was -14 or -15.
Yeah, he was down there.
And for him to be plus 18 right now, that is that has to be God's plan. But no, you've done a really good year this year. In fact, I think I was running the numbers. I think you're picking right now at like 81% in the NFL season right now. So after 7 weeks, I think you're at 81%.
Oh,
So
God.
you are. Put your money on Shaq, people.
I
I'm
appreciate
about to give him
y'all.
some money when we
I
go to
respect
Vegas in
y'all
July.
to give me this. Granted, y'all gave me so much props this week. I'm about to go 0-5 this week, but you know what? I
No,
respect y'all.
because you said that last week and you went 5-0. I'm just
Right.
saying, man. You want to ride the hot hand until the hot hand bites you. So
Amen.
like
Amen.
ride it, people. Ride it. This man can pick 'em right now.
When in
Jesus.
doubt, I'm not gonna finish the sentence.
When in doubt, bet with Shaq.
There you go. Bet with Shaq. Now, let's get into the actual games for this week. So, tomorrow night, the Ravens come down here to Tampa. They are somehow 1.5 point dogs on the road against the same team that couldn't score a touchdown against the Panthers, but it's neither here nor there. New week. So, Tampa plus 100 money line. I'll just go quickly. Right. Give me the Ravens with the 1.5 points. Shaq, you can go.
Yeah, I'm also getting the Ravens 1.5. They have lost to two like good teams. Would be a far stretch for the two teams they lost against, but two like bad teams. So like the Panthers are
Two
good.
teams better than
Right.
Yes. Yes, and the Panthers are better than both of the teams they just lost to. So just go ahead and give me the Panthers with the points.
You mean Baltimore with a point?
Baltimore.
Mm.
That man just said the Panthers. So I almost feel like I should say, don't listen to what Shaq says at this point. Because he just picked the team not even playing. Whenever the home team is not favored by 3 points, you should worry. Because the home team always gets 3 points. So whenever it's less than a 3-point favorite, you got to know that Vegas is betting on the away team to win, but they want people to put money on the away team. And guess what? They did that. 64% on Baltimore right now. Tampa Bay's 1-2 at home. And neither team has done anything against the spread. That's kind of the crazy thing. You would think that Baltimore was a little bit better against spread, but the 2-4-1 push, and Tampa's 2-5. But Baltimore's just better right now. So anyone that watched Tampa against Carolina and would put money on Tampa, you have to know something that we don't, because I'm taking Baltimore. And I do have G Money's picks. So I'll go ahead and give you G Money's pick too. Okay. So I'm taking Baltimore with the points, and Gary is also taking Baltimore with the points.
There we go,
Gary. So make sure you put that down.
Got that here. All right. I feel like if you're not taking Baltimore in the points, you live in Hillsborough County.
You just don't like money.
It's the same thing.
All right. Next one. Sunday at 1:00, we have the Cardinals going to the Vikings, where the Vikings are 3.5 point favorites. The Cardinals money line is plus 168 for those that are interested. Shaq, what do you like in this one?
Just give me the Vikings and the points. The Cardinals, as much as did they win last week? Yes.
Yeah,
But who
they did?
Yeah, just go ahead and give me. I still have more faith in the Vikings to be more of a consistent team than the Cardinals. So just give me the Vikings and the points.
Malin?
You next. Yeah, I need to see something.
Okay, I'm going to agree with Shaq. The Vikings in close games this year have been, they of course had the double doink against New Orleans, the London game, but they haven't been in a awful lot of close games like the spread is predicting this weekend. But the Cardinals just have not impressed me at all this year. Bravo, you beat up on the New Orleans Saints. Way to go, Cardinal fans. Come on. You guys are playing a legit team this week, and I would like to think that Kirk Cousins in a non-primetime game, if this was primetime, give me the Cardinals in the points. But 1:00 on a Sunday, I think that the Vikings can win this by a a touchdown. So I'll take the points with
Man,
Minnesota.
You nailed it on the head with it not being a primetime game. Because if it was a primetime game, then Kirk Cousins might throw 3 interceptions like Andy Dalton did last week. But the simple fact of the matter is that Andy Dalton on that defense, even though he threw 3 interceptions, he still threw for 4 touchdowns. Okay? Like, the Cardinals won 42-34 against the Saints that are 2-5.
Right.
Like, let's not act like they beat a good team, right? And so when you look at this game, I saw firsthand what this Arizona Cardinals offense can do against my godforsaken defense, right? They put up 9 points, and that was a mixture of the players on the field executing, but also Kingsbury, terrible coaching, terrible play calling. Like that man goes for 4th down calls. He goes for it on 4th down more than a crackhead will suck something for a gram. So it's terrible. I had to stop myself from actually saying something. So
the fact that
you put that in
something.
yeah, I know. You put yourself also at the same fact that Kyler Murray was telling his own coach to calm the fuck down on the sideline last week. Can you? I'm a grown-ass man. I don't care if you're wearing a helmet or not. If I'm the head coach of a team, you tell me to calm the fuck down, I will knock your ass out while you're wearing the helmet. Like, I don't understand how much Kingsbury has lost this team, but he's lost this team. Could you imagine if somebody ever told Mike Tomlin?
Yeah. I was just about to go.
Calm the fuck down.
Could you
imagine what that would have looked like? Tomlin would put hands on somebody.
Tomlin, Belichick, or Carroll. Gone. You're gone. See ya.
Yeah, Belichick would have kicked him off the sideline to put the backup in. Pete Carroll would have put the backup in, kept the guy on the sideline. Tomlin would have thrown hands.
Right. Fought him right then and there
on site.
And after he knocked his ass out, would have woke him up. Get back out there and keep playing.
Tomlin's the same coach that was trying to trip Jacoby Jones on the sideline on punt return one year. That man would have thrown hands with one of his quarter. If Mitchell Trubisky or Cody Pickett walked up the sideline and said, "Calm the fuck down," Tom would like, who you think is like he'd have lost his mind and his job in one moment. But Kingsbury just took it like a bitch. And so no, Minnesota, man, they're gonna win the NFC North. They, like you said, it's not a primetime game, so Cousins is gonna do good. I have faith in Cook, and they still got Jefferson that's gonna burn everybody on that Cardinals defense. I don't give a damn that Arizona got Hopkins on there. So I'm taking Arizona. And G Money's taking Arizona too.
All right. Wait, you mean Minnesota?
I'm taking Minnesota. He's taking Arizona. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I thought that okay, so he's lost his mind apparently. So hold on. Let me make sure.
Yeah.
That I want to make sure. Nope, he took Arizona. Okay, so G Money's in Vegas, people. And he already said that Vegas has been taking him to the woodshed. So that might be. He might just be used to losing. So yeah, no, he's taking Arizona. It says it right here, Arizona. Okay. G Money. All right, that's okay.
It's funny
all right.
that we said all of that and then G Money. Well, yeah, that's where we're at for that one. Next game, this one is a doozy. So we have.
Oh, I can't wait to hear your pick on this.
My Patriots going to MetLife Sunday at 1:00. We are 1.5 point favorites on the road. The money line for the Jets is plus 110. Yeah, I decided to pick with my brain over my heart on this one. Even though it's only a 1.5, give me that 1.5 of the Jets. I don't trust us right now with the pair of safety scissors. We are in a weird spot. You just told Mac Jones to go sit his ass down after 3 possessions. I don't know what's going on right now. In my opinion, neither quarterback's feeling very good about themselves right now. The Jets are feeling outstanding. They're on cloud 9. They're at home. I don't know. I don't like this game at all, and I would not be surprised if we just outright lost. So give me the Jets in the 1.5. So there's that. Malin.
Yeah, this is one of those weird ones where the Jets are at home and they're not favored. You gotta wonder why they're not favored.
Yeah.
With the way that New England just played last week. But you got to also look at the last 2 weeks, but that was with Zappe playing with a lot of confidence. The only thing I can think of is that maybe they're thinking that Bill Belichick is going to have something lined up defensively against Zach Wilson because he hasn't necessarily been playing great. And because Robinson's going to be there and not Hall, I don't know. But the Jets are 5-2 against the spread. New England's 3-3 with 1 push. 67% of the money's on the Jets. I still think that Jones is broken. I think his confidence is shook right now, and I think he's going to press. And I think that Jets defense is going to pounce on him early. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Jets on this one. I think that if Bill Belichick had started Zappe in the last game, I think they probably beat the Bears, and I think they would go in with a lot more confidence into this game, but I think they've kind of fumbled the quarterback position right now, and so I'm taking the Jets, and G Money is also taking the Jets.
Shaq?
I'm also taking the Jets to win this game. I have confidence in them, even though I said they're going to be god-awful. This is still before their downfall, so I say they still carry this out for another week or two. So, like I said, unfortunately, just fall within their primary schedule.
I love how he said, Jalen, that the Jets are going to fall and that they're garbage, but he's still picking them over your team.
This is still before when I predict they're going to fall. So.
Yeah, this is still, he got them in their prime right now.
This is another mid-choke.
Shaq is going to go use the laboratory here, so...
oh, Lord. He's about to break a toilet.
I sure hope not. Next game on the list, we have... All right, here we go. Another doozy. 4:30 this Sunday. The Giants at the Seahawks. 3-point dogs. The Giants are on the road. Their money line... 3.5. Their money line is plus 124. Malin, what do you like on this one?
I'm glad you picked this game, and I love this game.
This is
because again, game. Home team. The home team always gets 3 points, right?
Right.
What have the Giants been doing? They've been playing really close and winning in the fourth quarter, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Seahawks. If on the games they've won, they're playing great in the second half. They're pulling away in the second half. The defense plays better in the second half. I'm taking the Seahawks on this one. They held the Arizona Cardinals to 9 points. Now that might have been play calling, but they also contained Kyler Murray to a certain degree, and Daniel Jones is obviously a running quarterback. And they held the Chargers to 23 points. They've had 9 sacks and 3 interceptions the last 2 weeks. I kind of feel like those rookies on defense, I kind of feel like they're starting to find themselves. I think that the ball, because the Seahawks score early in most games, I think that Daniel Jones is going to have to throw the ball more in the second half. And I'm taking Seattle with the 3.5 points there because I think that I don't know. I just feel that the Giants have been a little bit lucky. I kind of feel like the Seahawks are playing a little bit more solid football in the moment. And Saquon Barkley, for everything that he does right, he's not making people miss tackles or breaking tackles. He's only averaging 1.3 yards after his initial hit. And I think Seattle's defense is going to get after him. I think they're going to win the game. Now, Gary is taking the Giants into 3.5 because apparently he's not a Seahawks fan anymore. But he's taking the Giants with the 3.5 on that one.
I am going to agree with Gary on this one. This is going to be a great game, regardless. I think we have two teams that do exceptionally well in the second half. So, I mean, either way, I think this is going to be a great game. But I do think that the Giants are going to be able to keep this close one way or another. Whether they lose the game or not, I think this will come down to about a field goal. Like, this is going to keep everybody on the edge of their seat. And, yeah, if you give me 3.5 points for the Giants, they will be right there by hook or by crook. So, yeah, I'm with G Money on this one. Give me the Giants and the points. Go ahead, Shaq.
I will also agree with the majority and go with the Giants on the 3.5 points. I agree that they keep themselves in it and do well in this game. Like I said, they've been doing really good this season, keeping themselves in there, and this has been the year. Unfortunately, as much as I believe in Geno Smith and the team, I just don't feel like this is a team to stop their streak right now. So just give me the Giants and the 3.5.
I'm just saying that this is going to be the number one game that we talk about and recap next week, where I will be right and everybody else will be wrong.
What if you guys win it, but it's by exactly a field goal?
I'll be pissed off, but I think we're going to win more than. I think we'll win by more than a field goal. Because do you think the Chargers are a more talented team than the Giants?
They are, yeah.
Okay, we just beat them 37-23. Hit the Chargers. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying that the Giants got something going for them this year.
They do, but you want to know what the winning percentage is on East Coast teams coming to the West Coast in the last 5 years?
Probably not very good.
24%.
Well, all right. Last game, we have the 49ers going to the Rams. 49ers, as of earlier this morning, 1.5 favorites on the road. The money line for the Rams is plus 100. I have the 49ers covering the 1.5 at SoFi Stadium. I think they're just trying to get the kinks worked out with C-Mac in the mix last week. But this time around, I think they can win this game by about a field goal. So give me the 49ers with the 1.5 to cover. So that's where I stand. Shaq.
I will also agree with the 49ers on a 1.5. I feel like they're a little bit of a, not by far, but a little bit of a stronger team right now at this current stage. So I can give them the game and the points. So go ahead, 49ers.
Yeah, I just don't trust the Rams at all this season. But
not right now. Not against this team.
Malin?
Well, San Francisco is 3-4 against spread. The Rams are 2-4, so you can't really use that. But what you can use is that the Niners won 24-9 in their last meeting earlier this year, which was only 3 weeks ago. And like you said, the Rams are not the Rams that won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, the Niners got their ass beat by the Chiefs, but the Chiefs are not the Rams are not the Chiefs. In fact, the Niners have won the last 7 regular season games against the Rams. The reason why I say regular season, because the Rams did beat them in the NFC Championship game last year, 20-17. But the Rams also had OBJ healthy, who's actually on the roster. They had Von Miller. Stafford's arm was a little bit better than a wet noodle right now. They just seem like it's Cooper Kupp or bust. They can't get out of the way. They've only scored 1 touchdown in the fourth quarter all year. So you got to take the Niners minus 1.5.
Is that where G Money is at as well?
G Money's also going with the Niners.
All right. So the only 2 games we've all had a difference in is the Minnesota-Arizona game where G Money took the Cardinals plus 3.5, and then the Giants and Seahawks game were 50-50, or not 50-50, sorry. Mainly you were the only person to take the Seahawks to cover, so.
Yes, I was, and I'm right.
Ahead of time. So that's where we are for this week, folks. Should be interesting. It's another wacky week. I just know it's going to be another wacky week in the NFL. That's how it goes. Anything else you guys want to mention before we get out of here?
One thing. Do you guys know who Mattress Mac is? You guys know who that is?
I think we talked about him on the show, unless it was a different mattress guy. But
we talked about him last year, and it was briefly. Mattress Mac is a man that owns like a bunch of mattress stores in Houston.
Yeah,
and he is
a
almost a billionaire. Okay, he's close to it. Okay, so he put down before the year started that the Astros would win the World Series. You want to know how much money he put down?
How much?
$10 million. He bet $10 million. He is on the verge of having the biggest win in Vegas history.
Oh, my God.
He can win over $360 million on a $10 million.
Jesus Christ.
If the Astros win the World Series against the Phillies. So this is like a 89 to 91-year-old man that
he's that old.
Looks like he
why?
He looks like he's about to die.
But why?
Yeah. So
why?
His grandkids are praying that he wins.
Come on, Grandpa.
Yes.
Like,
my brain
can't
even fathom that money.
This bet, if he wins it, would make him a billionaire.
I can't.
Wow.
My brain would be doing James Harden antics after winning that.
I always just assumed, like, in my head, I was just picturing, like, a middle-aged guy. I had no idea he was that old.
Nope. He is. I think he's 89 years old.
Wow.
And he's been putting a lot of money on baseball, and like he always makes outrageous bets.
Yeah.
But this is the largest bet he's ever made.
Go out with
$10
a
million
bang,
on
baby.
the Astros to win the World Series. And if he wins this, he'll be a billionaire. So it's crazy. Like, I don't know. We're talking about the Rider 9-5. We're talking about sports bets. It's just crazy.
When does game 1 start?
I think it starts tomorrow or Friday. And it's the Phillies versus the Astros. Everybody in America hates the Astros because they cheated to win the 2017 World Series. So everyone's rooting for the Phillies. They're the underdog. I think that the Astros won 104 games this year. I think the Phillies won 84, 87 games and barely made a wild card. But they dispatched everybody in the playoffs that they had to face. They were a wild card team in the 3-game play-in. And they made it. And Bryce Harper is hitting like 423 right now in the postseason. And I think he's hit a home run in his last 5 games. And so the Astros are going to have their work cut out a little bit because the Phillies are just playing with house money right now. They're just riding this train. But the Astros are definitely the favorites right now. So we'll see if this man becomes a billionaire. Could you imagine becoming a billionaire, selling mattresses and betting on the Astros to win the World Series? What kind of life are we living in right now, man? Like, what the hell?
I will be watching. I am highly
It's
interested
like-
now that a man is on the verge of being a
I
billionaire
won't
on
even
this.
bet on myself or nothing, so it's really not an issue for anything at all.
Like, You spend your life selling mattresses and making sports bets, and you become a billionaire.
If that ain't America,
this is what
at its
America's
finest.
made of. Exactly. Is
Here I'm fighting crackheads for the minimum money.
Unless you're home.
It's fighting crackheads for just a livable wage.
Exactly. What am I? What is life worth, really? I'm over here arguing with a crackhead and then you're fist fighting every other day.
I mean, you want to talk about arguing with crackheads? I've run a Starbucks and we were out of white mocha for like 8 days. So you want to talk about crackheads? Man.
Withdrawals.
That was crazy.
Exactly. My ass is
I
driving.
had so many people telling me I ruined their life.
Yes, and here I am
God.
driving with my light on from gas station to gas station and finding the most reasonable price gas station. It's really an issue in America that we need to discuss, but that's not what this show's about. It's like I know my light's on right now, but the gas is $3.39. I'm gonna go ahead and drive to the next one. I'm willing to risk it.
$3.37.
He's like, I think I'll get it for $3.29.
Down the road, I got 9 miles left in the tank, but that gas station is about 12 miles down the road. I'll risk it. I'll go ahead and risk it.
Damn right, I'm gonna save that $2.30.
Yes, I'll go with it. Don't care. I'm gonna save the money. Thank you. Budget.
We definitely live a different life than Mattress Matt.
Yes.
Yeah. Jesus. So who do you guys have? Phillies or Astros?
I'm gonna go Philly just because I want to see the city implode on itself.
Fair enough.
Philly, the football team's doing well, and the baseball team's doing well. Yeah, that city's dying in and of itself. I'm only choosing them because the city can't handle that much success.
Malin.
If I was Mattress Mac, I'd put my money on the Astros because I do think they're the better team. But I hate the Astros. I hate that they won while they were cheaters. I don't like cheaters, so it's not that I like Philadelphia. We are the wish
Right.
that Philadelphia would get nuked show of record. But let them go ahead and win a World Series and nuke themselves and not be able to see what the Eagles can do the rest of the year because they all killed themselves.
Yes, the best thing.
Great.
The next big thing to happen to them was Will Smith and the Fresh Prince. So let's go ahead and hopefully that
He's out there slapping Chris Rock. So.
Exactly. My point exactly. He introduced Will Smith to success. He's out there just slapping people just because he can't. So I hope that city just go ahead.
All right.
Who do you got, Jay?
You know what? Give me the Astros.
That's the smart money. That's the smart bet.
want if I could see a very old man, capitalism at its finest, just become a billionaire off of a fucking World Series game. That would just be the greatest thing ever. So,
well, the crazy thing is that the Astros have not lost in the playoffs yet.
Ooh,
they are 7-0 in the playoffs.
Jesus.
So yeah, 3 of those came against my Mariners. That was
well.
So
sorry to hear
not
that.
a big fan of that.
Yeah, this should be interesting. I mean, the totality of this is pretty high. A man becomes a billionaire, or B, a city burns to the ground.
Let's not pretend this man's not being 90 years old.
That's great television.
Why are we over here?
That's great television.
Intrigued and excited by a 90-year-old man.
I mean, Shaq, would you like to become a billionaire at the age of 90?
No, at that point, I'm hoping I'm not alive. I'm just saying, at 90 years old,
I'm sure he's living a fairly good life right now.
If he becomes a billionaire, his grandkids could have their own like Kardashian type.
All right,
right.
Okay.
Wouldn't you want that for your young
no?
Shaq
I was thinking, last thing my children need is a TV show about whatever bullshit is going on in their life.
Khalif will be like 13 years old. Daddy, we need to watch the life of the Mattress Max.
Just think of it this way: if my kids become Kardashians of the TV show realm, Khalif's gonna be over here featuring on episodes from here and there. It's really not something.
But what if your kid was dating the Kylie Jenner of that time?
Yes, I would. First of all, I pray yes.
That would change it.
I'd be up in heaven's like,
if Shaq was dating one of the granddaughters of Mattress Mac, he'd be wearing Houston Astros stuff.
yes,
right now.
yes,
Flag.
absolutely. I'd be
Got a hat.
showing out to the stadiums, waving banners.
Like go Stros.
I feel like we're no longer talking about sports at this current phase of the show.
Lifestyle show.
Shaq can't even name one player on the Houston Astros.
No,
I couldn't either.
no, could not.
Not even Justin Verlander or
No,
Verlander.
no, I could not. I couldn't name it. Give me the name of the stadium.
No, nothing.
Pina.
No, it's Minute Maid Park. Jesus Christ, people.
Minute Maid
Jesus
Park.
Christ.
When's the last time we all drank Minute Maid? Exactly. Yeah. Y'all were trying to call me up.
This is the same man whose favorite team was in Amway Arena in Heinz Field for like
y'all have used Heinz. Y'all have used Heinz.
Drinking ketchup.
Y'all have used Heinz more recently. Y'all have used the other product.
I don't know. Are you buying that Publix brand?
All right. Publix, that's the bougie. I'll be over here using Walmart brands. So y'all are living a whole different lifestyle than I'll be living. This show's progressed past sports 30 minutes ago. We just thought we were talking about 90-year-old man making
$1 billion. That throws everything upside down.
I mean, of course, if I'm 90 years old and you say, here's $1 billion off of a bet, I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever.
Listen,
Worst case, I lose and I die 2 years later, or I win and
we
die.
downgraded one billionaire recently. Somebody else's turn to step into
That
the
billionaire
shoes.
made his own bad decisions. No, don't. The fact that comparing these two people, comparing old age to ignorance.
I'm glad I brought that up to keep us going for 20 minutes.
Yes, this is why this show lasts longer than it should.
All right, let's get out of here.
So, what about LeBron now? I heard
LeBron put his billion on the Phillies. Okay, so folks, we will come back to you guys next week for 108. At this point, I don't know. Geno Smith's going to be an MVP candidate or something wild. I don't know what's going to happen next. It's a wild ride in the NFL. So we will talk to you all next week. Best of luck to everyone's teams, and have a good week.
Except for mine, I play fucking Eagles, but
have a good week, everybody. I completely forgot you guys played.